Hi everyone, Charlie here with Drug Addictions. I just want to start my video off like I do with all my other videos and say anything that I talk about is from personal experience or that's worked for me. So in no way do I think I'm a professional with any advice that I do give when I do give advice or anything that I do talk about. In saying that, today's video is going to be about psychosis and about another dimension or the other dimension. Ghosts, stuff like that. It sounds weird, I know. If you can stick around for the video, you'll hear some pretty crazy things, and it'll be your decision, and basically whether you believe in ghosts or parallel universes, stuff like that. I know this is way different again from usually what I talk about, but it does have to do with drugs, and this is why I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so I'm going to start off. There's a lot of things when you start using drugs every day and you don't sleep and you're not eating proper, you're not taking in your fluids you're supposed to be. I know people, and I've done it before myself, and I use a lot of drugs, staying up for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. Ridiculous. No sleep, just constant taking, whether it's ecstasy, you're doing cocaine, any type of upper. You can't stay up that long on opiates, morphine, Oxycontin, hydromorphs, any of that, patches, all that kind of stuff. You cannot stay up. I guarantee you can't stay up. In saying this, the times that I did stay up for even 1 or 2 nights, I started noticing certain things happening, seeing certain things. One thing it does do to you is it makes your head. This is one of the super negatives, is that it'll make you start thinking things, or make you start thinking that people are doing things around you that they're actually not. For instance, I thought my girlfriend was cheating on me. She's only had intercourse with one other person, so me. You know what I mean? I don't have to say that, but the reason why I'm saying this is because she's innocent. She's never done drugs in her life. She's such a good girl. She's never done anything wrong, and she's been loyal to me. She's been there through the worst with me. When she should have took off running, she stayed because she had faith that I'd get better, and I'm happy today that I am, so I can return everything to her and treat her as she should have been treated from day one. But anyway, in saying this, I thought she was cheating. I was fucking setting up traps and this and that and anything I could. I'd go through her phone. I'd be high for hours going through her phone trying to find anything, stuff that wasn't there. So that's number one about drugs. After even just doing a little bit of it, cocaine, crack, your mind, everyone's out to get me, blah, blah, blah. So the main point of this is, that's the psychosis part, is that you start thinking stupid things like that, and it could be even your parents. You think that they're doing this, or your neighbors doing that, or everyone's out to get you, and that's what happened in my head a lot of times, was everyone was out to get me. Now in saying this though, there is a lot of things that actually did happen that people won't believe because you were on drugs. For all you people that have used out there and have done uppers, I know you know about the shadow people. So people have done crystal meth, a lot of coke, stayed up for days. You guys know about the shadow people. And for you guys out there that watch like Chills or Slapped Ham or Top 15, all those scary channels, and you hear about, they talk about ghosts and and you hear a lot about the shadow people. They're actual apparitions that are completely black, that aren't up against the wall moving. They're in the middle of the room, a shadow in the middle of the room, or here or there, or peeking out at you. I've seen those a lot of times. For years I was seeing them, and I thought it was because I was high. Until one day, one of my buddies, one of my drug buddies, good guy and everything, but he's down the wrong path too. He was like, "Oh yeah, you see the shadow people?" And I'm like, "The shadow people?" I'm like, you guys see those too? Like what? And it was just something for the longest time until about a year and a half ago, when I started watching those 3 shows, Chills, Slapped Ham, Top 15. Come to find out, shadow people are actually a spirit. Now, again, a lot of you people who don't believe in ghosts and stuff like that, one of those things, you have to see it for yourself to believe it. I've actually had quite a few things happen to me, even not on drugs, like even since I've been here in Cape Breton. My dad was there for this. I had a ghost fucking haunting the place, or pardon my language, I didn't even swear. There was a ghost that was kind of messing with us at the last place we stayed at before we got into this house. Somebody let us stay at their place, and it was happy for me to leave. I'll tell you that much. It slammed the door behind me. Couldn't wait till I got out. That's story for another day anyway. But yeah, for people that don't believe it, you have to see it to believe it. Anyway, shadow people, seen quite a bit of them. Since I've been clean, I still do see the odd one. They lurk around. I mean, anybody, if you're watching this, just try it at nighttime or whatever. If you see something from the corner of your eye, you're like, oh, it's my eyes playing with myself. Start thinking that. Start looking for that kind of stuff. And tell me, in my comments if you end up seeing them. And for those people actually who use drugs, are still using or have used drugs, think back of those times when you were seeing that stuff and it's real. I just want you guys to know that what you were seeing was real, because it would be hard for all of us to be seeing the same thing, the same side effect. Sober people who do ghost hunting see them. They have it on tape. I think drugs actually, and this is when I'm talking about the other dimension, blah blah blah. I didn't want to put this on here because I'm not advertising drugs or anything, and I think they're horrible to do, and I'm not in any way saying, oh, go do them so you can see this. But for those people who have been on drugs, I think that we've actually been able to reach out and see things that aren't supposed to be, that aren't really there, aren't supposed to be there. I think many times I've heard voices, and I've spoken to, and this is going to sound crazy, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. But I've actually spoken to and seen apparitions and people and ghosts, like people ghosts, and a lot of things that I think back now, and because I'm a believer in the supernatural, I know was probably 90% sure that that's what it was. And I hope, again, I want you guys to put in the comments below if you were on drugs and you've witnessed things like this and felt anything and you weren't too sure then, but hearing this now, you're like, oh my God, I've felt that, I've seen that. The reason why my video is going to be called, Psychosis and the Other Dimension is because there's a fine line between it. Just like they say there's a fine line between a genius and an insane person. It's the same thing with this. Now, again, personal opinion, this is how I'm looking at it. And I hope, I have others that agree with me. But there's one story that I do want to tell, that one of my friends who doesn't want to be, mentioned in my videos or anything like that, because he doesn't want to be associated with, he's never done drugs in his life. He's a well-to-do business owner. He owns a few businesses. Obviously, right now they're all not doing good. But he was there. I was actually staying at an area. I'm just gonna say an area that was by his. But we talked every day, and I was with my girlfriend. I think this is right before my son. Not right before, but before she got pregnant with my son, my first one. I was up all night using cocaine and probably crack at the time. For a few nights I was up, and it started getting dark, and we went, I forget what we were doing, but she was still with me. She didn't give up on me. This is at the beginning of our relationship, kind of. We were driving, and we went to a place on Lundy's Lane in Niagara Falls, right beside Cataract Bowl on Lundy's Lane. I just said that. It's an old folks home, so in between there. So you can drive to the back, and then halfway behind the building, it's the rest of the building, and then there's the dumpsters and stuff. So we went back there. I was probably going back there to get out to do some drugs or whatever, not around her. And I look in the back field. So there's a Serbian park that's right behind it. It starts from there, and it goes behind all the motels on Lundy's Lane. It's friggin' huge, man. Huge. So anyway, I could see out in the field, and it was just getting dark. And I'm like, I thought I seen something. And I'm like, what is it? So I'm starting to look, and I'm seeing, and I swear to this day, it looked like people eating people, zombies. I thought it was a zombie apocalypse. I swear to God. Now, I was up for a couple days, so my head starts, I'm like, oh my God, I must be hallucinating. I'm da-da-da-da. So I hop the fence, and I start getting closer and closer, and then sure enough, they all turn and they look at me, and I'm like, so I get petrified, and I start running. Now, mind you, when I'm looking at these things, it started getting so, like, it was probably about a half hour, 45 minutes after it was dark, but out in the field, there's no lights, no nothing, so it's pitch black out there. So when these things turn and look at me, look like they're all just black shapes, like black people, not black people, sorry, like the shadow people. Completely dark. but darker than the darkness behind them. So as soon as I'm like, hey, hey, and they all turn and they look at me, oh my God, I start running. I hop the fence, jump back to the car. Now, Amanda couldn't see anything. She's like, I can't see out there, So I start panicking. I'm like, they're out there. I'm telling you, they're out there. So I get in the vehicle. I call so-and-so, the person I was just telling you about, and he's like, what are you talking? And then I'm like, dude, I'm telling you. He's like, man, you're high. I said, listen, please, I'm telling you right now, there's zombies back there. There's something back there eating people, eating something. So he gets in his vehicle. He goes around. The Serbian Park just so happened to be open. The gates are always locked, but he ends up going for a drive, and he starts freaking out. He doesn't see it because there's trees and stuff, and you can't see on the field. But I said, look, I can see him, bro. Like, please. I'm like, just get out of there. So he kind of freaked out a little bit because he's thinking there's something going on. So we end up coming back around. He goes back to the place. We go back to our place. We're standing there, and I'm like, look. Sure enough, a couple other people are like, yeah, I can see stuff moving. They could see, myself, I could see what was going on. Now, again, you couldn't see zombies, anything like that, but they were shadow people. And whatever they were doing was freaky, man. All night, I was so scared. I left our door unlocked just in case we had to run. Now, my girlfriend couldn't see them. There was a couple other people I couldn't see him, but then there was a couple other people. One of them was also somebody who used drugs, but there was somebody else there who I don't want to name who could actually see what I was seeing. And not everything in detail, but they were pointing to the areas. They're like, is that something over there? And I swear to God, I could see everything. So I guess the point of this video is that you get psychosis from using drugs all day long. You start thinking stupid things. You start seeing stupid things, saying stupid things. Your head gets all messed up. But I think just like geniuses and crazy people, I think there's a borderline to where you might be able to see into another dimension or ghosts or the shadow people. And I know I'm going to get a lot of bad feedback. I just want to say thank you to everybody so far. I haven't gotten anything bad back. I haven't had people say anything, bad to me about anything. But this is pushing it because it's for some people. It's not for others. Some people do believe in ghosts and stuff. Other people think that it's crazy. I got 2 family members. I'm not going to say who they are. One is with me, goes to the other one thinks that we're crazy. You're nuts. There's no way, blah, blah. So people are divided. So if you don't believe in ghosts and stuff, I apologize. You guys are watching this video and stuff like that. But for those of you who do, or even those of you who have used drugs, been down this road, please comment in the section below and let me know what you've seen or what you've heard. And maybe in the future they can actually look into stuff like this and do tests and see. Maybe our minds do start seeing into a different dimension or into a different, like kids, little tiny kids, babies, animals. They can see spirits and stuff. They look around and you can see them following. You watch your phone. About a year and a half ago, we were over at my mom's, my girlfriend, Blair. It was before Archer was born. And Kenzen, my nephew. And my mom was videotaping. Let me see if she still has the video. I want to get it from her and I'll see if I can post it or something or put it related to this one so you guys can see. She was videotaping the orbs. This was right after my nanny passed away and my Papa Henry. They passed away like 6 months apart. But orbs. Like we seen, I think, like 107 orbs or something. And then just to make sure it wasn't dust or anything, did it again, like the next day or 2 days later. Again, a whole bunch of orbs. She did it with just my nephew. And then when no one was around, she took a video of just the room. Nothing. So it's, stuff like that, ghosts, all that kind of stuff. It's either you believe in this or you don't. So I got a little sidetracked there, but it's either you believe in it or you don't. So I hope that, this gets far with other people and whatever. I appreciate everyone's input, opinion. Everyone's matters. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you do. But either way, please comment in the section below. And I'll have more videos to come. Love you guys. Bye.